It's exactly 32 minutes past 3 p.m. East African time. Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the award winning station. This is A Farmers Media, and definitely this is the Farm Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe. And today I'm running solo, I'm flying solo because ZJ Timo ameamua tu kunitoroka leo. But anyway, we have to do what we gotta do, and I hope you're having a lovely afternoon, and definitely because it's a Thursday, but looks like just like a weekend because the weekend begins very, very early. But definitely, I hope you've been wherever you're going, you reach safe, and definitely you never used to Ndodi because it was not the best night for Ndodi FC, and it's not raining because Arsenal won. It's really not. I can't understand that, but anyway, we have to do what we gotta do, and today we are going to be discussing about something or fruit that has the word berry in it, but it's not a berry. I know you're confused. It's a fruit that has the word berry, but it's not a berry by itself. Details of that will be coming your way in a few. But also remember, we need to finish the week and the day in a fantastic way. So keep tuned for the pan of the day towards katika kipindi cha Lala Salama, and definitely for the traffic updates and the weather updates for those who are planning to plant, harvest, under dress, over dress. We'll be giving you details of that and much more. But getting deep into strawberry farming, and this is a fast rising, as you can see from the caption, it's a fast rising type of farming that is very productive but should be done in the right way. The only way to have this as a productive type of farming is only to be done in the right way. Just follow the necessary required measures, and everything will be good for you. And before we go to the fun facts of a strawberry, we need to understand that strawberry initially is a plant that actually grows in mild temperatures, but also adapt well in warmer regions. Right? Mild temperatures, kidogo kidogo, but also can adapt into warm temperatures. We're talking about around here in Kitengela. We're talking about towards Pandes, Isinya, all these places where we have warm temperatures, they can adapt. And also, it became popular around the world and is grown nearly in every country. In every country around the world, it's grown there due to breeding of new varieties. We have very, very different and many varieties that can be grown under a wide range of climatic conditions. We'll be talking about the climatic conditions that are necessary for the best strawberry farm, so that you can get the best yields at the end of the day. And also, strawberry being mainly a fresh market product, even the way they're packaged, they can be very profitable if you are able to meet the challenges involved in growing strawberries. So the only way you'll have a profitable kind of farming when it comes to strawberries is just doing the right way and just following everything that is required, right? And so into the fun facts about strawberries, there are several, and the first one that actually shocked me, I realized like almost 2 weeks ago, is that strawberries are the only fruits that wear their seeds on the outside. You see the way you eat a strawberry, hizo utoto vitu tunakanga somehow yellow, yeah, those are the seeds. So the seeds of a strawberry are actually on the outside, not like other fruits where the seeds are on the inside. So the average berry is produces probably around 200 seeds. So just one berry provides 200 seeds. So there are people who actually forfeit eating strawberries so that they can get seeds and plant again. So it's up to you. So as you eat that berry or strawberry, because it's not a berry, it's a strawberry, yeah, just note that when you're eating the strawberries, hata ukisikia tu hiyo tamu, you're also eating the seed as the first one. It will be crunchy on your on your teeth. Sawa, hiyo inakwama kwa mdomo, hiyo inakwanga ama inakwama kwa meno, hiyo inakwanga ni the seeds of a strawberries because they are on the outside, not as any other fruit that the seeds are in the inside. Then the second fun fact about strawberries aren't strawberries. As I've said, they are not berries. They are like blueberries and grapes. Only blueberries and grapes, they are the only one classified to be berries. So strawberry will be telling you that technically a berry has seeds on the inside, like the blueberry and grapes. The seeds ziko ndani. So that's the only thing that actually, in a technical way, makes a strawberry not a berry because the seeds are on the outside, right? So if strawberry is not a berry, ni ya familia gani? And so that's the third fun fact about strawberries, that they are members of the rose family. The roses zenye unapata huko nje. And so those are the strawberries are members of the rose family. So should you come up with where we have you seen a bush of them growing, either the roses or the strawberries, they smell just as good as they taste. So strawberries are not berries; they are part of the rose family, and you know how you know roses smell really good. So the more or just how strawberries smell, or rather the way strawberries taste, that's how they actually smell. Really, really nice because they are part of the rose family. And so the fourth one is Belgium has a museum dedicated to strawberries. In the gift shop of Le Musée de la France, that is the strawberry museum, you can buy everything from strawberry jam, anything strawberry. We have strawberry beer, yes, all that you can get into La Musée de la France. That is the museum of all the strawberry museum that we have in Belgium. Then the fifth fun fact about strawberries, the ancient Romans thought strawberries had medical or medicinal powers. They used them to treat everything from depression to fainting to fever, kidney failure, bad breath, and sore throat. So they thought they had magic. It was a magical plant for them because they thought it was very medicinal, very powerful. And I just think it was in their heads. But I think pale kwa bad breath can probably help kidogo tu, si kwa umbali, si kwa sana, but kidogo tu. But they thought it will cure fainting. So I think people will have fainted so much so that you can get strawberries, yeah. Because you get some fever, you're given strawberries. You have kidney failure, kidney stones, get strawberries. Bad breath, strawberries, and so forth. So before the rise of PK, people were being given strawberries because of the bad breath. That sounds interesting in the ancient Roman days. Yeah. So the sixth one, the sixth fun fact, we have strawberries are believed to help reduce the risk of heart diseases and certain type of cancers. They are also they're actually low in calories and high in vitamin C, B6, K, fiber, folic acid, potassium, and amino acid. Pale kwa folic acid makes sense when pregnant women take a lot of strawberries because of the folic acid, which is actually necessary in the growth of the child in the womb. So makes a lot of sense. So it reduces the risk of heart diseases and cancers, and as we have said, very high in vitamin C, B6, fiber, folic acid, potassium, and amino acid. Those are some of the facts that probably you didn't know as a consumer of strawberries. And the last one, strawberries contain high level of nitrate. This has been shown to increase blood and oxygen flow to the muscles. And the research that actually was done suggested that people who load up strawberries before exercising have greater endurance and burn more calories. So before you hit the gym, you can probably have some 2 or 3 strawberries. Utakuwa uko sawa and you'll endure and burn your calories in the right way. Yeah, so before you exercise, it's good to take actually some strawberries. Then you can hit the gym or you do your jogging in the morning or probably in the evening, whatever floats your boat. So those are some of the fun facts we have about strawberries. You can do your research and find out more. There's so many, more than 50 of them, but we only chose 7 of the best. So you can do your research and come to understand some of these things. You can flex out there. Probably it's someone you're crushing on, or someone nataka tu kumuonesha you have a lot of knowledge. It's up to you. It's general knowledge, it's basic, it's out there in the internet. So do you and get to have that knowledge about strawberries. And so direct to some of the varieties we have, especially right here in Kenya, of the strawberries. One, we have Chandler. That is the Chandler strawberry variety, and this is very common, and probably that is what you actually consume most of the time, right? And so we can have that of the Chandler strawberry variety on the screen. This is vigorous and high yielding. The Chandler strawberry variety produces very desirable strawberries, and they are very large farm and they are produced within 60 to 75 days. The shape of this type of strawberry ranges from a long wedge-like shape to being conical in shape and in large sizes. They are brilliant red color and glossy look with an exceptional flavor. And one thing to note about this one, they are good for exports or fresh market. That's what I'm saying. You probably have consumed or you largely consume the Chandler kind of strawberry. And another good thing to note, they are not best for processing. They're only good for fresh consumption. They're not good for processing, probably processing strawberry jam, strawberry, uh, anything to do with strawberry. They're not good for processing, but they are good for freezing and also fresh consumption. Ya kukuliwa hapo na hapo, ya kukuliwa kwa nyumba and all that. But they are also good when it comes to if you're getting into the market of exporting. They're the best when it comes to exportation. The second kind of strawberry is the Douglas strawberry. And this is a vigorous plant with clear foliage with a semi-erect habit. It produces elongated berries that are conical in shape and are orange-red in color. Their, their red is not it's not even burgundy, it's orange red, you know, inakaa ni kama ijaiva, inakaa kwenda kukandizi hivi. It's not really red all round. It's like an orange red in color. The berries are firm red flesh with a pink center. They have good taste, resistant to transport damages, and the Douglas strawberries give high yields. So probably if you have in large production of strawberries and you think wherever you are the transport or the roads are not really okay, you can try Douglas strawberry because they are resistant to transport damages. However, you pack them, ni ngumu sana ziharibike ama ni ngumu sana they go bad, yeah, as you're transporting the Douglas strawberries. The third one we have, it's Aiko strawberry. The Aiko strawberry produces uniform large conical berries with a pointed end. Right, they are firm pale red firm flesh that is slightly sweet. They are resistant to transport damages and have high yields. So the only difference when it comes to Aiko and Douglas is only the shape and probably the color. All right, because these ones are a bit, you know, they are a bit large conical berries, and the Douglas are just conical in shape. These ones are a bit large, and for the Douglas, they are orange red. These ones are just red, plain red, but the difference is the same when it comes to the transport. They are resistant to transport damaging and also have high yields. The other one we are talking about is Pajaro strawberry. And this is a short day variety that gives berries that are systematical in shape. It's in late maturing. When it comes to late maturing of the Pajaro kind of strawberry with low production, make it not popular. When it comes to the late maturing of this Pajaro strawberry, it's not popular, and at the same time there's a lot of low production when it gets to the late maturity, right? So you have to do this very early before it gets to late maturity, because when you get to that point there's low production and it's never popular. It's not everywhere. The last one is the fen. Actually the second last we have the fen strawberry, and this is a day neutral variety that is high yielding with firm skin, sweet berry. It's good for fresh market and processing. So this one you can do your strawberry beer, your strawberry jam, whatever you have to do or make with the strawberry, you can use farm strawberries. And at the same time you can have it for fresh market for consumption, ili unaweza uza huko kwa mitaa ama unauzia watu wa nyumbani. You can have the fen strawberry. The last one we have the Cambridge favorite strawberry. And this is a type of strawberries that produces many runners, small sized sweet berries. It's resistant to most diseases. Hii before it gets to any disease ama kushikwa na ugonjwa wote ikiwa pale kwa shamba, it's very rare. And we have types of Cambridge variety. We have the Tribute, TriStar, Teogla Selva, Domail, and Rabuda. Those are types of the Cambridge favorite strawberries. So those are types. Those are some of the varieties. You can see there are very many varieties. Depends on what you want. We're talking about if you want for export, just go for Chandler type of strawberry. All right. If you just want, for processing, we have talked about go for the fun type of strawberries. It's up to you. And that's why before you start all this, as you do your research, as you get your business plan in place, do your research well, get to understand, be patient, be very intentional. And this is all about intentionality, because if you know the transport of where you're coming from is not really good, you can't go for Chandler type of strawberry. You go for uh, either for the Aiko or for the Douglas, because of the transport the resistance when it comes to transport damaging. Right? So it's very, very hard to have the strawberries go bad because of the transport or where the roads that you're using. But if you want for the fresh market, good for fresh market, we have said it's the Chandler or probably the Fun strawberries. And the strawberries actually killing two birds with one stone, because they are best for fresh market and also processing. Hadi hapo tuko sawa until you get now the varieties. Those are some of the varieties that we have mainly, especially right here in Kenya. Okay, and so if you want some of these varieties, you know what to do. You know your plug. These are at our farmers. We can help you actually get these some of these seedlings. It depends on what variety you want, so you can just contact us, you can DM us, you can just ask on the comments. But also our number is running on the screen. You can call that number and will be of benefit to you. Probably you want to start strawberry. As you have said, it's fast rising, it's a game changer in the game of fruit farming in Kenya. So it's something that people are actually taking up on it, and it's very profitable as long as you understand how to do it and do it in the right way. So if you want some of these seedlings and get to have to join the bandwagon of being a strawberry farmer in the country or probably in the region, you know to do, just contact us on all our social media platforms, or we can call the number that we have. Someone will be at the other side of that call to help you, and will be gracious enough to help you either from scratch, or just you want the seedlings, just contact us with all the details and we'll help you. We talked about the logistics not being something to hinder you from asking. Just talk to us, we can always have a solution. Right? There's so many ways of killing a rat, and a rat in this sense is talking about the COVID-19. We can have so many ways in which we can deliver to you, not just because of the COVID-19. We've been having it around, so we can know how to work with the logistics if you're not very, very near where we are right now. But as long as you have the seed, as long as you need the seedlings and we communicate in the right way possible, you'll have your seedlings at the doorstep, or probably in your farm. Wherever you want, just communicate and we'll be there to help you, because our services and everything that we offer are of high quality, and definitely our prices are very, very much affordable. Right? And so now you have the information of what types of varieties you have. You've decided to be very intentional. You've done your business plan. You've done your research well. Everything is in order even before you go to all these things. And so you've bought your seedlings from our farmers. You've done your research. You've done so many things. But some of these things that you need to understand is the ecological requirements for growing strawberries. You need to understand the climatic condition. You need to understand what type of soil. You need also to understand the pH value of the soil that you have. And so strawberries grow well in altitudes of between 1250 and 2200 meters above sea level, especially in the east of the Rift Valley. Right? They require well distributed rainfall of at least 1200 millimeters. Less than this will need irrigation at least of 25 millimeters per week. The strawberry plant is not drought tolerant. Okay, so it needs plenty of water, needs a lot of water. So if you're not having a rainfall of 1200 millimeters, then you need to add or adjust to 25 millimeters per week. Just make sure you are actually watering these strawberries so that you can have the best yields. So if you're somewhere where you don't have you're accessing enough water, then this might not be your thing. So drip irrigation increases yields, improve the size and appearance of the berries, and prolongs the harvest period. So if you're doing your drip irrigation, besides uh, just using or just making sure that you're using the rain. You can also use the drip irrigation, and this will increase your yields, improve the size and the appearance of your strawberries, and at the same time prolong the harvest or the harvest period that we have. And also, strawberries grow in a wide range of well-drained soil. And the whole of this week we've been talking about soil, how well-drained the soil is supposed to be, and that is not different from the strawberries. Needs a well-drained soil, although deep sandy soil that are rich in humus are most ideal. Okay, deep sandy soil yenye it's not really red soil. It's like sandy but iko tu hapo hivyo, it's like sandy soil but it's not really sandy soil. As long as it's well drained, it's the most ideal. All right, so the soil should have a capacity of retaining moisture. Just get to understand what type of soil are we talking about. Talking about water retention, talking about well drained. When it comes to water retention, it's not retaining, it's not a hoarder, it's well draining. And also it's deep sandy soil. It's kind of sandy soil, it's not really red soil. And also capacity to retain moisture, very very important. The soil drainage should be good enough to keep the water levels at least 80 to 100 centimeters below the soil surface. So it's not just a hoarder, at least hayo maji yanaingia hadi kwa mizizi, right? At least 80 to 100 centimeters below the soil surface. Okay, and poor drainage makes strawberries weak, and they're actually prone to diseases. So if you have poor drainage, if you have a soil that is actually a hoarder, then this might not be a thing. So you can try something else. But if you have a soil that is actually a hoarder, not rich in humus, not retaining or actually draining the soil, the water in a capacity of 80 to 100 centimeters, at the same time it's not retaining the moisture, then don't even try strawberry farming. But the only way you can know what type of soil you have, if it's the best, the pH of your soil, just contact us. We'll help you from scratch. As I always say, if you have quote unquote a virgin land, we can always help you to start from scratch, preparation of land, all the way to harvest and probably the market. It's up to you to contact us so that we can help each other, because at the end of the day you are attaining knowledge, and most importantly you're actually growing your profits, because that is all about you. We see the farmers, or we see our farmers just making the best out of what they have. That is our joy, as always, because as you come for and seek for help, you attain the knowledge, we help you. You invite us to your farm, we help you as you're attaining the knowledge. Pole pole. Remember, when you come to us, you're talking one on one, you're just getting the knowledge. But when you get to the farm, it's more of apprenticeship, observing. You attain the knowledge theoretically and also practically. But at the end, you are the bigger winner. It's a win win situation, because you're in business, you're also getting to grow your profits. And that's the most important thing when it comes to a farmer. Just seeing the yields that whatever they actually planted is giving them the profits, and the yields are the best. All right. And so, talking about the soil pH, this is very important. Probably you tried strawberry farming a while ago or a while back, and it was a setback for you. You probably got the losses that you didn't expect. Most likely you didn't understand the soil pH of the soil that you have in your farm, or probably you didn't have the right soil that is required for the best strawberry farming. So you have another chance to reclaim yourself, and probably you've not done your soil testing. You don't know the pH range of your soil, and so when it comes to strawberry farming, it's 5.5 to 6.5. Okay, so it's 5.5 to 6.5. So if you know, you're a farmer, you understand your soil pH, and it's ranging between 5.5 and 6.5. It's well drained, um, it's retaining moisture, has a capacity to retain the moisture, at least can keep the water level from 80 to 100 centimeters. And also the drainage is very very okay. And as I've said, the pH is 5.5 to 6.5. Then this is something you can give it a thought. Try strawberry farming, as long as you have in the two values we always talk about in the show, that is patience and intentionality. Be very intentional when you're doing any kind of farming. That one is very very important when it comes to any type of farming, whether it's fruits, whether it's the vegetables, anything, any type of agribusiness. Also, you need to be very intentional and at the same time be very patient, especially during these times of heavy rainfall. Can be can be a bit hectic, because at times the rain is a blessing in disguise, because you need the rain, but then inakuja kwa wingi, destroys the crops. There's a lot of over flooding, and becomes more of a disaster than a blessing. All right. So it's very very important to be very intentional when you're actually doing farming or any other type of agribusiness. And so when it comes to land preparation for planting strawberries, remember this is very very important. This is very important when it comes to land preparation, because now you have the knowledge, you've done your research all about strawberries. You've For the general knowledge, you've already understood the fun facts about strawberries. You understand what comes with the strawberries. You have that as your general knowledge. All right. You now get to understand the soil pH. You get to know the value or what kind of soil you have. All these things you have them. You're in a very the best climatic condition. Every box is ticked. Everything is good to go. But now the most important thing, as you're starting step one, is land preparation. Land preparation is very very important. And so in order to break the hard pan and improve soil structure, double digging or just plying so many times is encouraged. Right? As we have said probably the whole of this week, plow as many times as possible. And as you're doing that, make sure you're there. Make sure every the soil is, especially for those who have not probably farmed in a very long time. It's a virgin land, it's a new land, has never been farmed before. Just make sure there's a lot of circulation. The soil has imegongo kabisa. The soil is flat, everything is circulating, making sure that you're leaving nothing unturned. Everything is not as the way it was when you're starting the plowing and all that. Also make sure the beds that you have, or the bed that you'll make, should be 1 meter wide. Okay. And any desirable length, but 1 meter is a minimum. You can do more than 1 meter, but 1 meter is a bare minimum. Leave a path of 50 centimeters wide between the beds, and probably you can incorporate uh, approximately 15 kgs of well compost manure per meter squared. So all this very simple, very simple, but at the same time very tricky. If probably you've not really done your measurements well, and your compost is not well, is not well mixed, it can be a very very hectic time for you. And so you need actually to incorporate well compost manure per meter squared, as you have said, and also leave a path of 50 centimeters between the beds, and the beds should be raised 1 meter wide. We talked about spacing anywhere, not just we these are living plants, just as the way we actually live in human beings. We need our space. We don't need to congest at one place. The same case applies to the plants. They don't need to be squeezed at one point, because they'll be fighting for the same air, for all this, for the nutrients, and also for the water. So you need to have very good spacing. To actually This actually will help in bettering your yields at the end of the day, because you as a farmer, the best thing, or the most important thing for you as a farmer, is actually having best or the best yields at the end of it as you're doing your harvesting. So before we take a short break, just to wind up on the land preparation for planting strawberries, the bed preparation. should be done 1 month before the date of planting. This is where the calendar comes in. You need to understand this is the date, or the actual date that I'm going to be planting, or this is the set date that I've decided to go plant the strawberries. So you have to backdate a month before. That's when you start all this preparation of the plowing, making sure everything is okay, and making sure that you've done all the preparations are in order. You have your research, you have your knowledge in order as you move on in the journey of growing your profits. So when you come back after the break, it's all about the weather updates, and definitely as you continue with the conversation about the planting of this kind of strawberries, because it's important. You don't need to miss any step as you are on your journey of growing your profits. Take a short break. We'll be right back.
Celery is a marshland plant that comes from the same family as carrots and parsley. It has long, firm and pale green fibrous stalks and grows in bunches of approximately 8 to 10 centimeters. The stalks taper into leaves at the top. When planting celery, it's best to ensure that the soil is enriched with compost and with a soil pH of between 5.8 to 6.8. It is also important for celery to grow in moisture-retentive soil. Lastly but not the least, select a site that receives full and direct sunlight. Celery needs about 130 to 140 days to mature between seedling and harvest. Growing celery is generally considered to be an ultimate vegetable gardening challenge. It's easy to grow, but has very specific needs. Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. Agriculture provides most of the world's food and fabrics. It is not only a source of food and income, but also creates employment opportunities for many people in the world. Over 1 billion people worldwide work in agriculture, generating 2.4 trillion for the global economy. The global impact of farming on the environment is revealed that 40% of the Earth's land is now given over to agriculture. Agricultural development is one of the most powerful tools to end extreme poverty, boost shared prosperity, and feed a projected 9.7 billion people by 2050. And we, the Our Farmers Media, roll the carpet for you as we welcome you to our thrilling farm visits to different farmers that educate and inspire you in different sectors in agriculture. Catch us also on our shows on all our social media platforms as we bring you educative and informative information that will help you learn and guide you on your agriculture journey to success. Our farmers attain knowledge and grow profits.
10 minutes past 4 p.m. right here on Farmers Media, where we're always about one thing only, telling the story of an African farmer. This is the Farm Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe. Definitely today we're having an interesting conversation of a strawberry that indeed we have realized it's not a berry, but it is in the rose, the family of rose. It's not a berry, and so much more about it because we need to understand how actually it's done, because it's very profitable and at the same time it's very fast rising, and it's a game changer when it comes to fruit farming in this country and actually beyond this region, because every country is doing strawberry farming, very profitable. If you don't get into this bandwagon of strawberry farming right now, probably you might be late, but all in all, you have done it. So you need to understand, get the knowledge, know how to do it, because if you don't do it in the best way, then you don't get the best yields and it's not profitable for you. And that's not, it's not what we do here at A Farmers. So remember, if you're joining us right now, you our live stream page, that is at A Farmers with a Z at the end, definitely on YouTube, that is A Farmers Media Kenya. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. Remember, before you leave this social media platforms, all our live streams, just make sure on our Facebook page you follow, comment, you like. You can watch all our videos; they are all there. We've actually made it easier for you. You can watch all our videos. The same is happening on YouTube, and well, at YouTube also. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you comment, like, gives us a thumbs up, and you can share to your friends and other young farmers around the country and the globe as well. So definitely, if you're out there, you're wondering what is happening today. The weather has been a mess the whole of this week, especially right here in Kenya. It's we're having, especially we actually experiencing heavy rainfall or heavy downpour. So don't worry, tomorrow's weather, as we get or usher in the weekend tomorrow, hivi ndio kutakuwa kunakaa. Nairobi will be having or experiencing heavy rainfall tomorrow, temperatures being as low as 17 degrees. For Mombasa, it will be a bit sunny with a bit of clouds. temperatures being as low as 26 degrees. For Nakuru, we'll be experiencing heavy rainfall with the temperatures being as low as 16 degrees. For Eldoret, the same, we'll be having heavy rainfall there with the same as Nakuru, the temperatures being as low as 16 degrees. For the same goes to Kisumu and also Thika with temperatures being as low as 22 degrees and 19 degrees. Watu wa Bungoma tomorrow also will be experiencing heavy rainfall with temperatures being as low as 21 degrees. Same case applies to Meru, also heavy rainfall tomorrow with the temperatures being as low as 18 degrees. Wajir, as you're having your Eid Mubarak tomorrow, will be having the sun will be out, so you can have your sherehe vizuri sana because the temperatures be as low as or as high as 32 degrees. For Mumias also will be having a heavy downpour tomorrow because the temperatures will be as low as 22 degrees. Watu wa Mandera the same tomorrow as you celebrate your Eid. Will be having the sun will be out. Also, I know you're starting the celebration today, but you'll continue also tomorrow. So as you do all that, the sun will be out tomorrow with temperatures being as high as 32 degrees. And also watu wa Embu, kesho kutakuwa na mvua with temperatures being as low as 18 degrees. Same case applies to Athi River kesho, as you're having your celebration, as you're and ushering your holiday and weekend, be having a bit of sun and a bit of rainfall with temperatures being as low as 19 degrees. Watu wa Kiambu, the same, heavy downpour with temperatures being as low as 17 degrees. And lastly, watu wa Kajiado, tomorrow the sun will be out finally. Today the same thing we are seeing today, temperatures being as low as 19 degrees. So be advised accordingly if you're planning to have your harvesting tomorrow, or probably planting or actually watering. Just know that is how the weather will be looking at tomorrow. If you've not done your research, probably you're not from these counties that I've said, you can do your research. Just Google the place or the location you at and can be giving you the weather updates tomorrow, be telling you when to expect the rainfall, if you actually be experiencing the rainfall, or the sun will be out at what time. The internet has come to actually ease in all these things. And don't be that person who will be overdressing or underdressing. Yeah, tomorrow is a holiday, so just be sure, be keen to not be that person who will be caught off guard, because we need to enjoy the long weekend that we have, or actually we are ushering into starting from tomorrow. So definitely going back to the conversation of today, talking about strawberry farming, very very important type of fruit farming that is actually a game changer, and it's fast rising, because if every country in this world is actually practicing this type of strawberry farming, then it means the demand is high, and at the same time maintaining this kind of fresh market produce. Remember, it's fresh, very clean. Even the packaging of strawberry is up to standards, especially if you're doing exportation. If for the local consumption or for fresh consumption at the moment, what we get from the market is well packaged. What about for exportation? So this is something that needs a lot of attention, a lot of your time, a lot of investment, and above all, a lot of intentions. Be very intentional when you're doing this type of strawberry farming. And so we talked about the land preparation, and now straight into the planting and propagation of the land. So strawberries are propagated using the splits and runners. Splits are the most used method, and so the seeds are used because they are not viable. So viable seeds take a long time before reaching the recommended height for transplanting. Okay, so you use the splits. Splits is the best. And so before planting, work the soil so that there is a deep and reasonable loose planting bed. All these things, this is part of the land preparation as you get into the planting of strawberry farming. So as you're doing your splinting, you also need to treat this strawberry splits, and before planting, it's very very essential and very very necessary to treat the splits before you do the actual planting. And so before you plant these splits, trim the leaves. That is very important, very essential. The roots, and dip the splits in a fungicide for fungicide solution for approximately 24 hours before planting. Very, very, very key. The splits that you have, just dip them into a fungicide for approximately 24 hours. And before you do that, before you do the dipping, just make sure you have trimmed the leaves, the roots. Then now you can do your dipping into the fungicide solution for approximately 24 hours. And this some of this the reason as to why you dip in the splits into the solution is to avoid the fungal infection that probably that are prone to the strawberries. So that's the only main reason that you have as to why you do the dipping of the splits into this fungicide solution for 24 hours. It's to avoid the fungal infection that comes if you're not careful as you're doing the planting of the strawberries. And some of the fungicides we have, you can use the Pearl, you have Pearl and Master. So some of them, we have so many. Just go to your nearest agrovet, they will help you in how you can do that. But also, if you contact us for the seeds and probably for the soil testing and all these are some of the nuggets that you'll get from our farmers, the extension officers we have here, and also the agronomists we have around here. They will help you accordingly and make sure there's nothing they have left behind in terms of helping you attain knowledge, and at the end making sure you have your reasonable profits at the end of everything that you're going to do. And so after doing the treating of the splits before planting, remember right now we have not planted, we have just done the propagating and also propagating, sorry, and also we have treated the splits. Now we are getting into the planting itself. But before you do the actual planting, you need to understand what type of what space do I need? What space do I need to give the strawberries before I actually plant it? Okay, and so dig planting holes, okay, that are approximately 7.5 centimeters deep. This is when you're doing the actual planting. So the spacing is important, and the spacing will lead to better yields. The spacing will lead to the reason as to why you have better yields is because there is no high competition of water, nutrients, and air. Every seed or every plant is having the best of the three, talking about the nutrients, the water, and also the air. The competition is none, nil, nada. There's no competition when it comes to that. But all this will happen when you have proper spacing of the planting. All right. And so the spacing you're talking about is 7.5 centimeters deep going down. All right. And 30 centimeters between the rows and 30 centimeters between the plants. You have your rows here. And so between this row and this other row, just make sure it's 30 centimeters. And the plants also are 30 centimeters. And 30 centimeters makes sure that all the plants are getting their own air, their own water, and their own nutrients. There's no competition. And at the end of it all, will enable you at least 1 acre piece of land will probably give you 75,000 plants. You can do 75,000 plants in one piece or 1 acre of land. But all this will be enabled if you do your spacing in the right way. So as you're doing your spacing, so that can give you approximately 75,000 plants, apply 2 grams per hole of a recommended nematicide, that is the bio nematicide and member dimedicine. All right, all these are highly recommended when it comes to the nematicides that are supposed to be applied before you actually plant all this. The holes that you have made, the holes that are 7.5 deep and 30 centimeters in terms of the width from one row to another or from one plant to another, make sure you apply this kind of nematicides. They are very, very, very important. And so you have done the land preparation. This is part of the land preparation. That's why it's very recommended you to be there. Don't be that farmer who is just an internet farmer. You're always on calls, always on Zoom, always being told what is happening by the farm manager. No, be on site. That's another way of learning. You see how it's done, so that when things go sideways or things go south at the end, when you're doing your harvesting and all that, if things go south, you will understand, or you'll come to notice where the problem was, because you are involved in the process of all this, in the process of growing the profits, in the process of making sure that the strawberries are getting to the last point. But if you're not there, you'll never understand, you'll never know where you made a mistake. So all this, when it comes to land preparation, you need to be there as a farmer. Don't need to be a lazy farmer. I'm not talking to lazy farmers. We are not actually making you a lazy farmer. We are making you be that farmer who is involved, who is very intentional, who is very patient, especially for a new farmer. You've never done farming in your whole life. Give it the intentions and the seriousness that is actually desired. This is probably like a job. So the way you committed to just waking up early in the morning and going to your career or your profession, or what you do every single day or every single weekly, the same, the commitment levels that you have for that job, just bring the same commitment to your plant. Right about now, we're talking about the strawberries. You need to be very committed. So as you're doing the spacing, it's part of the land preparation. Now we get into the real deal. That is the planting of the strawberries, which is very, very important. Now, hapa, if you miss a step, becomes a bit hard for you. And so the strawberry crown is very short. The crown, pale juu, is very short and cannot tolerate deep planting. Remember, you've done 7.5 centimeters deep. Okay, so the roots should not be allowed to be dry. So we're talking about moisture. Make sure the crown in the middle is level with the soil. The crown ni hapo juu. Okay, and so the root should never be allowed to be dry. So if you dip it so deep into the soil where the water levels cannot reach, then you are killing that plant. So what you need to do, this, for example, this is a strawberry. The whole of this is a crown. This is the root. Make sure the middle part of the crown is in line with the soil. We're just seeing the crown itself, or the middle, the half part of the crown that you have as a strawberry. Just make sure it's middle level, not so deep, not so above the soil or the ground, just in the middle section of the soil and the ground, or the above the ground and the soil. So it's not so deep, because it cannot survive when it has been done. It's actually so deep into the soil. Just make sure it's not too much above the ground and not too much deep into the soil. Okay, and soil should be watered after planting to set the strawberries plant into the soil. Avoid watering the plants directly. So you've done your planting, everything, every hole umeweka plant yake. You've made sure you have, remember at this point, you've already made sure the spacing is right. All right, talking about the deepness, talking about the width, the length. All right, everything is in order. Now, right now, making sure that this the plant does not get dry at any one point. Remember, we talked about the rainfall. If you don't experience rainfall that is approximately 1200 millimeters, then you need to actually be very committed to have 25 millimeters every single week. Just an addition of it, because it needs water, not too much water, but adequate water for all this to happen. Okay, and so we have seen we are not watering the plant direct, just do it around the soil. See, direct to the plant or direct to the seed. Okay, we don't do it just like that. You just need to be to just make sure that whatever is supposed to be moist is the soil, so that gets down to the roots, making sure huko chini ambako the roots are, it's not so dry, it's very moist, so that you enables it to get actually the nutrients and everything is reaching to the plant, and the yields will be better at the end of it all. And so you've already done the planting, and you're satisfied with what you have at the moment. What most strawberry farmers get to have a challenge in is the weeds and pests. But before we get to that, most important thing, we talked about it yesterday when we talking about the spices, the ginger and the garlic, but also this will apply when it comes to strawberry farming, talking about mulching. Before we get to the weeds, mulching will help conserve ground moisture. So keep the fruit clean and add humus to the soil. Avoid applying mulch when the plants are too young. Now you spot the difference that when it came to spices, we're talking about mulching when you starting the planting, and also when you're doing it at 40 days and 90 days. Probably that's a bit mature, yeah? Talking about 90 days, that's 3 months. But now when it comes to strawberries, you don't mulch when they are very, very young. If you're using plastic mulch paper, do not use the black one. That is a very, very good pointer, very good nugget to actually take home. When you're using the plastic mulch, for those who actually uh, prefer that one, don't use the black one, as it will raise soil temperatures. And remember, we talked about too high temperatures is not the best condition for this kind of fruit, that is the strawberries. So optimum fruit production requires cool soil, just cool. It's easy, you know, not too high and not too low. It's not too cold, not too hot. It's just cool. Just some, so even us as human beings, we just love the cool, the cool weather. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's just there. That gives a lot of satisfaction. It's the same case applies to the plants. For strawberries, they just need required cool soil. Remember, hapo ndio anachezea. Don't let the temperatures be too high, so then it becomes too hot that the soil either dries so fast, it becomes so hot, or it's too cold and there's a lot of water, unnecessary water. All this will lead to low production and low yields at the end of it all. That's not what you want as a farmer. And so mulching, you've seen, it's very, very important. But the most important thing to note when it comes to mulching is that you avoid to mulch when the plants are too young, and at the same time, as you're using the plastic mulch paper, avoid using the black one. Black absorbs heat, so if you use a black one, the temperatures will increase. So that's very, very important. And so as you doing, before you get actually to the pruning and all that, you need to have a process or a way to manage weeds control, or just to control the weeds for the strawberries. And also, as you're doing this, is in regard or in line to the planting of the strawberries. So plant the strawberries in soil that has no weeds. That goes without saying. This comes when you're preparing the land. As you're preparing, make sure you have removed all the unnecessary plants, and that's the weeds. Umezitoa zote, it's clear, just making sure the land, or the place that you're doing this planting is clear, very flat, very clear, so that you have the best. So after planting, this is where now the commitment rate, or the commitment stage or testing is done, because weekly cultivation is needed to remove the weeds when they are small. Don't wait zimekuwa kubwa sasa ndio unaenda ukihandpick. If you're committed and you're very intentional in what you're doing, you probably schedule to do weekly. Again, the calendar comes in here. I did on Wednesday, And so probably next Wednesday, I need to come back and remove, probably by hand picking, which is the easiest, next Wednesday. But if you don't have a scheduled a time and everything and a calendar, you'll not know when. You'll probably skip after 2 weeks. That's when you remember it. Right now, we are living in an era whereby we have all these things in our phones. You can do reminders on your phone, the calendars on your phone. You don't have to go on the walls of your house as you checking in and ticking in the the dates on the calendar. You can do all that on your phone. Just get into your calendar in the phone. Make sure you set reminders. Make sure you write notes, small notes on your calendars on the phone. Simple. It's you know you can just it's a mobile phone, it's a cell phone, so just move with it anywhere. So you can have your calendar even if you're not near your farm. You can track all these things. You can track the dates. You can track when you did your fertilizing, when you need to do your mulching, after how long, when did you plant, so that you're not doing the mulching when it's so young. All these things, very very important. And so the weed control just need to have a planned time kind of a schedule, so that you know when to do all these things. The weed removal when they are very young. Don't wait, as I've said, don't wait when they are so big zikiwa zimemea sana. That's when you rush in to do the controlling. Okay. Also, um, what is very important is the pruning, because all these things you can see, it's more of being intentional about it. Pruning and making sure you've irrigated your strawberries, very important. So especially for the pruning, as you take a short break during this cold and rainy season, the strawberries go into a rest period. So remove all the odd and diseases leaves to reduce infection from diseases, reduce pests, allow for aeration. Aeration is very key. Allow regrowth of the foliage, ban all the removed leaves outside the field. This especially is for the rainy seasons and the cold seasons, and that's the season we are in. So if you haven't used strawberries right about now during this season, probably you did uh, a week earlier or a month ago, you know what to do. Right now, the strawberries are on rest periods, making sure you've removed all the old leaves that are laying around there to reduce infection from diseases, reduce the pests that will be around your crops or your plant, and allow aeration for the plant, for the strawberries. That is very important. So if you're out there, you are a farmer, you've done strawberries, and this is your first time, probably you did it, you had your losses. I'm so sorry about that. You now have the knowledge, or you have now understood what you need to do, especially during these times of the heavy rainfall. So make sure, Sai, get out of that place that you are in, get to your farm, remove all those old leaves that you have around there, because if you don't do that, this will lead to the infections. You'll kill the plants because there's no aeration, and you'll be full of the pest, and that will not be good for the yields. And you, as a farmer, it's very important to have the yields at the end, because that's how you grow your profits. So as we wind up this journey of growing your profits, we'll be right back with the harvesting. Sema tumekula ng'ombe mzima, tusishindwe na mkia. And at the same time, we'll be back to make sure that you end your day in a fantastic way. So stick around for the pan of the day after this short break.
This is avocado. These are seeds that we grow. The avocado seedling from seed, and then when it's a little bigger, after 2 months, we'll graft it, and now we'll sell you a grafted avocado. So what you can see here is just avocado seeds, and a bit of them have started shooting. The other plant and seedling that we do is oranges. You can see this orange is about 2.5 years old, and you can see already the fruits are there. And it's a variety that is called Washington Navel. It grows this height. We've put it in a bag because we move around when we go to shows, but otherwise this is a plant that you can grow in your own garden, and it will give you oranges all year round.
Farmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club, and by extension, African farmers. The whole idea behind Farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an agripreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions, but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to transform their vision. They can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental. Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech, and I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. Then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training, can still benefit? And hence the birth of Farmers Media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the top proportion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there's at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
And it's quarter to 5 p.m. right here on A Farmers Media, where we always about one thing only, telling the story of an African farmer. This is the Farm Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, and definitely the weekend is just near. You can just feel the weekend is here, and the only way to spice it up is just by making sure we end this week or this day in a fantastic way, just direct to the pan of the day. And today's pan of the day is quite interesting, and I hope you're not going to hospital anytime soon. But the banana just went to hospital, and we're just asking why. Why did the banana go to hospital? And the reason is just one, because it was not feeling well. So for you as a human being, you're not feeling well, but for a banana, when it goes to hospital, it's because it's not feeling well. That's how well we can just end this, or just actually make sure that we're starting or kick-starting the weekend in a fantastic way as we wind up the week. Has been a short week, but it's going to be a long weekend. All right, so that's how we can just kick-start this kind of a long weekend that is ahead of us. So that's the pan of the day today. So another pan, just catch us right here on Monday as we do the Farm Drive Show, same time same place, katika kipindi cha Lala Salama. So as we winding up the topic of the day today, talking about the strawberry farming, what you need to actually know, the necessities that are needed when you get or venture into strawberry farming. Talked about land preparation, the propagation of the land, all these things, irrigation, mulching, making sure you're controlling your weeds in the right way, all these things, making sure you have maintained the climatic condition, you know the type of soil that you need to do all these things. Very, very important. And so lastly, umeshakula ng'ombe mzima. When talking about the soil, land preparation, mulching, weed control, all these things are part of, nyama ya ng'ombe. Now the last thing and the most important thing is the harvesting, because the harvesting, this is where now actually and practically you count your profits, because all this time round you've been counting your profits from afar by observing and seeing the sprouting. Unaona sasa strawberries zimeanza kutokea, they're taking shape and all that, but now the actual profits now come in. The first step, the last step of the profit is when you get to the market. Now the first step is harvesting. If you're not careful here and you've been very careful when you followed all the guidelines that you've been given or that are necessary in terms of planting, you may miss a step when it comes to harvesting. And so it's very important that the maturity of the strawberries depends on the temperatures during the growth period. All right? And so the warmer the temperatures, the faster the maturities. The warmer the temperature, the faster the maturity. So the maturity periods ranges from 75 days to 90 days, depending on what? The temperature. Okay? And depending also on the variety. For Chandler, we talked about it being from 60 to 90 days, or 75 to actually 90 days, more or less the same. So it depends on the variety and also the temperature. So it's if you are a bit, if you're a bit in a warmer place, the maturity level or the stage will get faster than someone who is in a cooler place. All right, that is one thing to note when you're doing your harvesting. Okay, and then the strawberries should be picked when they are completely ripe, because strawberries do not continue to ripen once harvested. Zinabaki hivyo tu. So make sure it's the right stage. Okay, if they are not ripe at all, don't harvest. Just wait until they are completely ripe. If you do not pick the ripe berries, they will become overripe or rotten by the next picking. So make sure your timing is okay. Your timing for picking the berries is okay. Avoid crushing the fruits when picking by using a firm, clean container to put the strawberries after picking. Very, very important. Avoid avoid crushing the fruit when picking by using a firm, clean container. And that's what I was telling you. When you go to the market, see the packing, see the how they do their packing. Very nice. In clean containers. Probably that's why they are a bit expensive, because even maintaining that kind of level of cleanliness is not easy. And so you see, when you're doing the harvesting and you're doing the packing, very, very important to make sure you're very careful. You've not crushed the fruits when you're picking and when you're packing. Okay, very important. Usimle ng'ombe mzima alafu ashinde na mkia. Very important when you're doing your harvesting and your packing. Just pick the right fruits, pick them in the right way, and then store them or package them in the right way. Just make sure you've maintained high level of cleanliness and low level of just being clumsy. High level of cleanliness, low level of clumsiness, right? Don't be clumsy when you're doing the harvesting and also the packaging. Very important. Lastly, talk about the grading of the strawberries. People have actually consumed different types or different grades of strawberries, so you need to understand that as we wind up. Strawberries are graded according to sizes, shapes, depending on the targeted market. Okay, so we have grade 1, those are 6 to 9 fruits, they're packaged. Then grade 2, we have 15 to 25 fruits. Then grade 3, we have 28 to 32 fruits. Any smaller strawberries are kept for processing into the jam, juices. We have all these, the small strawberries that you see. Hizo sande zinapelekangwa kwa kuprocess the juice, probably the jam, the strawberry jam that we have from different companies, and the juices that you have, the strawberry juices, they are from, or they are processed from smaller strawberries. So if you're into smaller strawberries, you can just talk to the companies that actually process or produce the jams and the juice. You can actually be into business. But just make sure you just know the 3 grades of strawberries. If you're packaging 6 to 9 fruits, that is in grade 1, 15 to 25, grade 2, and 28 to 32, that is grade 3. So you as a consumer, unakuanga grade gani? Are you given the 6 to 9? Do you buy 6 to 9, 15 to 25, or 28 to 32? It's high time you ask yourself that question. And also, if you're a farmer, You need to know how to actually package all these grades. You're doing them 6 to 9, 15 to 25, or 28 to 32. Very, very important. And all this you'll do when you're doing your business planning, after you've done your research, and now you have all the information required. You've attained the knowledge, and it's time now to grow your profits, because you'll have to go straight into the market. All right. So remember, small things really count when it comes to strawberry farming. How you do your everything, and you've come up with one a pretty easy slogan. Just make sure there's high level of cleanliness and low level of clumsiness. Just make sure you're very intentional about it. You're very keen, committed when you're doing all this. And as you said when we started the show, if you need seedlings, if you need any help, assistance from the extensional officers, from agronomists, from anyone that you think will help you, probably you are a new farmer, you've never farmed before, you have a farm, probably a virgin farm, or farm that has actually been never, never been into use. You know who to go to. Your plug, your PD, right here at A Farmers. Any assistance you need when it comes to farm produce, farm procedures, you want to do your soil testing, you want to get to know the best variety, the best seedling, actually get the pricing and the actual seedling. Our services are very, very of high quality, very good. We have experts here. We have people who know what they do. We have the knowledge, and that's why we help you attain the knowledge. And at the end, because the prices are very affordable, you get to have your profits and grow them in the right way after you've chipped in and got chipped in and had the knowledge. Very, very important. So don't look at the pricing. The qualities, or the quality of our services is pretty much amazing. Ask around. People have tried. It's tried and tested. It's not something we are talking out of the blues. It's tried and tested, and we can do all these things. All right. So I think as we take the break, probably we need to get back. We are getting into the holiday mode, or probably you're talking about the holidays, just one, but we are getting into the weekend mood, and we need to end it, or just kick start it as we wind up the show with in a fantastic way. And so probably I'll just take the pan once more, and probably for the human beings, we go to hospital because you're not feeling well. But for a banana, the reason as to why they go to hospital, it's because they are not feeling well. So if your sense of humor is high, you've gotten the joke, and that was yours, and it's delivered. So for this and much more, always catch every single weekday. We always have a pan all about farm produce, farm animals, anything to do with agriculture, farm. We'll always give you a pan related to that every weekday on the Farm Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, right here. So another pan, just wait or catch it up on Monday. So we take a short break. We'll be right back for those stuck on traffic or just don't know, you don't have any clue of what is happening on the road. Don't worry, I got you. So all that after this short break. Definitely, it's 5 on the dot. That is 5 p.m. right here on A Farmers Media, where we do one thing only, telling the story of an African farmer. And this is the Farm Drive Show. And we are coming to the end of the show, and we need to kickstart this long weekend in a fantastic way. And so, just to take the pan of the week one more time, why did the banana go to hospital? Why did the banana go to hospital? It's because it was not peeling well. So that's one way of kickstarting this long weekend in a fantastic way. So that's the plan of the day. And straight to the people who are stuck in traffic or who are actually planning to go home on your way home, just to let you notify you that Upper Hill Link Road, the new road that links to Mbagathi Way, is a parking lot, and there's been no movement for the last 15 minutes. So if you're using that road, you can avoid it. Please avoid it as much as possible. Jogoo Road is insanely clear, right from City Stadium all the way to Madaraka, where it's low, and a bit to Donholm is looking all good. So if you are about to head your way to Jogoo Road, you can use that chance and use it right now, because it's very clear all the way to City Stadium. That is new, having being that that road is new. It's known for traffic, and Bunyala Road roundabout is a parking lot. I can tell you from the photos I see here that roundabout is a parking lot, and they're about to have a long evening today. And also one more, as I can see here, is also Thika Road. There is a lot of traffic all the way starting from Muthaiga. And also lastly we have yes, around Nyayo Stadium, it's a parking lot. So if you want to be successful in life, just avoid Mombasa Road as much as possible, because with this construction that is going 80% in Nairobi, it's either it's over flooding or there's a construction. So make sure all these roads where we have in the expressway, just make sure if you want to be successful in life, if you just want to live a stress-free life, just avoid Mombasa Road as much as possible, or just be out of town in time. All right, and make sure you don't break any traffic rules or any law of the land, because we're having a long weekend. So ukivunja kitu leo ni hard demand. So make sure take care of yourselves. All right, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Thank you so much, Sarah Wanjiku, for being a wonderful director and always making sure that I look good on screen. Definitely, thank you so much to our Muslim farmers and followers for giving us a holiday that we never we thought we never needed, but let me tell you, to be honest, we really needed that holiday. So Eid Mubarak to all our followers, or all our Muslim followers and farmers all out there, just making sure you thank you. It's like an appreciation for the fasting that you've been doing. So I wish you all the best. Make sure you take care of yourself. Remember, COVID is real. Just make sure you take care of you actually get the guidelines, the 3 guidelines given by MOH. That is wearing your mask properly, making sure you maintaining your social distance, and most above all, making sure you sanitize when necessary. All right, be kind to one another on these roads. Be kind to one another during this period of this long weekend. Stay safe, stay warm. See you on Monday.